In a world full of chaos, where our minds are constantly pulled in many directions, the real path to peace is not found in running away, but by looking within. In a world crowded with noise and distractions, the journey to peace starts from within. This video reveals the timeless wisdom of Buddha, sharing powerful life lessons that, once understood, can change your life. These teachings are more than just old words. They are practical tools to help you find inner calm and peace in the middle of today's busy world. Every day we deal with stress, anxiety, and too much information. We chase after success but often feel further away from the peace we deeply want. But what if finding lasting peace is easier than we think? What if learning a few deep lessons could keep us calm, no matter the chaos around us? Stay with me, because one of these lessons has the power to not just make your day better, but to change your life forever. Watch until the end to find the secret that could be your key to lasting peace. 1. Self-compassion and positive self-talk. We all have a voice inside us, one that often whispers things we would never say to anyone else. It's that harsh inner critic, the constant judge that lowers our self-esteem. How often do we talk to ourselves in ways we would never speak to someone we care about? We scold ourselves for mistakes, criticize every little slip-up, and hold on to guilt as if it proves something. But what if we could quiet that voice, or even change it? What if, instead of being our harshest critic, we could become our strongest supporter? Buddha once said, "You yourself, as much as anyone in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." These words aren't just nice to hear, they are a call to action, a reminder to show ourselves the same kindness we give to others. When we learn to be kind to ourselves, we tap into a deep source of strength and emotional well-being. This is what self-compassion is all about. It's the base upon which we create a life of peace and personal growth. Picture yourself being your own best friend. Imagine talking to yourself with kindness, understanding, and love. Positive affirmations can help in this process. By repeating uplifting thoughts, we start to change the way we think. We replace the negativity and doubt with encouragement and confidence. In Buddhism, this practice is seen as essential. It is taught that by cultivating self-compassion, we lay the groundwork for a tranquil mind, one that is not easily shaken by the storms of life. Be your own best friend. Speak to yourself with kindness and compassion. This is not just advice. It is a transformative practice that can change your life. Think of the times when you have been your harshest critic. Now, imagine instead that you offer yourself words of support as a friend would. It is in these moments that we find our true strength, for resilience does not come from never falling, but from the ability to rise again and again with a heart full of self-compassion. To put this into practice, start each day with a moment of mindful self-reflection. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and speak words of kindness to yourself. Challenge those negative thoughts that arise. Ask yourself, would I speak this way to someone I love? Replace them with words that uplift and empower. It is in these simple yet profound practices that we begin to build a resilient and peaceful inner world. Consider the story of Maya, a woman who found herself trapped in a cycle of self-criticism and doubt. For years, she believed she was not good enough, that she was unworthy of love or success. But one day she decided to make a change. She began a daily practice of self-compassion, speaking to herself with the kindness she had reserved for others. Over time she noticed a shift. Her confidence grew, her inner turmoil subsided, and she found a sense of peace she had never known. Maya's life turned around not because she changed her circumstances, but because she changed her relationship with herself. She became her own greatest ally. When we master self-compassion, we find that we are never the same. We are transformed from within, strengthened by the knowledge that we are deserving of our own love and affection. This is the secret Buddha shared. a secret that once embraced changes everything. 2. Embracing change and growth. We often find ourselves clinging to the familiar, to the comfort of what we know. The fear of change, the discomfort of stepping out of our comfort zones, these are chains that bind us to a stagnant existence. Yet, deep within, we understand that change is inevitable. It is the one constant in a world that is forever shifting. Change is inevitable, but resistance to change creates suffering. When we resist change, we are not resisting the external world. We are resisting life itself. Buddha's wisdom echoes through time. Nothing is forever except change. These words are not merely philosophical musings. They are a profound truth about the nature of existence. To live is to flow, to adapt, and to grow. In Buddhism, life is seen as a constant river, always moving, always transforming. When we try to hold on to the shore, we only exhaust ourselves against the current. But when we learn to embrace the flow, we find peace in its rhythm. Consider the beauty of viewing challenges not as threats, but as opportunities for growth. Every change, every upheaval carries within it the seeds of transformation. It is through adversity that we discover our strength, our resilience. It is through stepping into the unknown that we uncover new facets of ourselves. Adaptability is not just a survival skill, it is the path to a more fulfilling, more vibrant life. When we learn to dance with the unknown, we find joy in the very act of living. Embrace change as a dance with the unknown, where growth and strength are found. This is not just a call to action, it is a mantra for life. To resist change is to resist the essence of life itself. To embrace change, however, is to engage fully with the world, to see each new experience as a gift, a lesson waiting to be learned. To practice this, we must actively seek out new experiences. Try something unfamiliar. Challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone. Reflect on the changes you have faced in the past. How have they shaped you? What strengths have you gained? Each of us has a story of transformation, a time when change forced us to grow in ways we never imagined. It is crucial to remember these moments, to hold them close as reminders of our capacity for growth. Think of Raj, a man who once feared change with every fiber of his being. For years he clung to the safety of his routine, unwilling to risk the uncertainty of something new. But life, as it always does, brought change to his doorstep. He lost his job, his relationship ended, and his familiar world crumbled. At first he resisted, clinging to the remnants of his past. But then a shift occurred. He began to see this upheaval not as an end, but as a new beginning. He embraced the unknown, moved to a new city, started a new career, and found a deeper connection with himself. Raj didn't just survive these changes. He thrived because he chose to dance with the unknown. When we master embracing change, we become like the river, flowing, resilient, and alive. We are transformed, finding peace not in the absence of change, but in its embrace. This is the secret Buddha shared, a secret that, once understood, reshapes our entire existence. 3. Setting achievable goals with the middle path. In the relentless pursuit of our ambitions, we often lose sight of balance. We set lofty goals and push ourselves to the brink, only to find frustration and exhaustion waiting on the other side. The road to burnout is paved with unrealistic expectations and the constant pressure to achieve. We forget that the path to success is not a race to the finish, but a journey that requires patience, perseverance, and most importantly, balance. Buddha taught the wisdom of the middle path. The middle way is the path of wisdom. This principle urges us to avoid extremes and seek harmony in all aspects of life, including our ambitions. It teaches us that while it is essential to have goals and aspirations, it is equally important to pace ourselves, to find a balance between striving and contentment. To rush headlong into our dreams without this balance is to court frustration. To move too slowly is to court stagnation. The middle path shows us how to navigate the delicate balance between these extremes. The beauty of this approach lies in recognizing that success is not a distant destination, but a series of small, steady steps. It is not just about reaching the mountaintop, but about appreciating the beauty of the climb. When we learn to set achievable goals, to break down our grand visions into smaller, manageable steps, we allow ourselves the space to grow, to learn, and to thrive without the overwhelming pressure of perfection. In Buddhism, this is seen as a critical practice. Progress is measured not by the size of our leaps, but by the consistency of our strides. Success is not just reaching the mountaintop, but appreciating the beauty of the climb. This is a powerful reminder that the journey is as important as the destination. When we focus solely on the end goal, we miss the lessons and the growth that come from the journey itself. To follow the middle path is to celebrate each step forward, each small victory along the way. It is about cultivating a sense of contentment in our efforts, knowing that we are moving in the right direction one step at a time. To embody this in our lives, we must start by setting realistic, achievable goals. Break down your grand aspirations into smaller, more manageable steps. Celebrate each achievement, no matter how small it may seem. This practice not only builds sustained motivation, but also fosters a sense of peace and fulfillment. It reminds us that we are on the right path and that progress, however slow, is still progress. Consider the story of Alex, a young entrepreneur with dreams of building a successful business. At first, Alex set enormous, unrealistic goals and quickly found himself overwhelmed and burned out. He realized that in his quest to succeed, he was losing sight of the joy that inspired him to start in the first place. Alex then adopted the principle of the middle path. He began setting smaller, more achievable goals and took time to celebrate each milestone, no matter how small. Over time, Alex found not only success in his business, but also a renewed sense of passion and fulfillment in his work. By following the middle path, we find that we are no longer slaves to our ambitions, but masters of our journey. We find joy in the process, peace in the progress, and strength in the balance we maintain. This is the wisdom of Buddha, a secret that, when embraced, leads us to a life of both achievement and inner peace. 4. Engaging in joyful and positive activities. In the relentless rush of life's responsibilities, we often lose sight of what truly nourishes our spirit. We become entangled in a web of tasks and obligations, moving from one chore to the next without pause. In this unending cycle, the joy in our hearts begins to fade. In the rush of life's responsibilities, we forget to nurture our spirit. The monotony of daily life, the stress of our endless to-do list, they drain us, leaving us feeling depleted and disconnected from our inner selves. We forget the importance of engaging in activities that bring us joy, that light up our souls and fill our hearts with a sense of wonder. Buddha once said, "Happiness never decreases by being shared." These words carry a profound truth. Joy multiplies when it is cultivated and shared. It is not a finite resource, but an infinite wellspring that can be drawn upon again and again. In Buddhism, joy is seen not as a luxury, but as a necessary part of a well-rounded, fulfilled life. It is essential for our mental and emotional health, a vital counterbalance to the stresses and strains of daily living. When we allow ourselves to engage in joyful and positive activities, we rejuvenate our spirits, maintain a positive outlook, and create a life that feels rich and meaningful. Joy is not a luxury, but a vital ingredient for a fulfilling and positive life. This is a truth we must hold close. The joy that we cultivate through our hobbies, our passions, and our shared moments with others becomes the fuel that powers us through life's challenges. It lifts us up, renews our energy, and helps us face each day with a fresh perspective. To find this joy, we must make it a priority. We must carve out time from our busy schedules to do the things that bring us happiness, that remind us of the beauty of simply being alive. To practice this, dedicate time each week to activities that uplift you. Whether it's reading a book that inspires you, painting, playing a musical instrument, spending time in nature, or sharing laughter with friends, these moments are not frivolous. They are essential. They recharge our spirits and help us maintain a positive mindset, even amidst the chaos of daily life. Sharing these joyful moments with others only amplifies their impact, spreading happiness and positivity. Consider the story of Sarah, a woman who once found herself trapped in the monotony of her corporate job. Her days were filled with endless meetings and deadlines, and she felt her enthusiasm for life waning. One day, she decided to make a change. She remembered her love for painting, a hobby she had abandoned long ago. She began to set aside time each week to paint, to lose herself in colors and creativity. Not only did this bring her immense joy, but it also transformed her outlook on life. She felt more energized, more positive, and found that this joy spilled over into other areas of her life, bringing a renewed sense of purpose and fulfillment. Remember the importance of nourishing our souls. We create a life that is not just about surviving, but thriving. A life filled with moments that make our hearts sing. This is a lesson that Buddha imparted, a secret that, once understood, transforms not just our days, but the very essence of who we are. 5. Mindfulness as the key to positivity. Our minds can often be our greatest source of suffering, pulling us away from the present and trapping us in cycles of regret about the past or anxiety about the future. We find ourselves dwelling on what has been or worrying about what might be, and in doing so, we miss the beauty of the present moment. Our minds are often our greatest source of suffering, pulling us away from the present. This habit of mental time travel creates a storm of stress and discontent, keeping us from experiencing peace and joy. But there is a way out of this cycle, a path to tranquility and positivity that lies within our reach: mindfulness. Buddha taught, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." These words are a powerful reminder of the influence our thoughts have on our reality. Mindfulness, a central pillar of Buddhist practice, invites us to anchor ourselves in the present moment, the only place where true peace resides. It teaches us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, to understand that they are not who we are, but passing experiences. By cultivating mindfulness, we learn to manage our inner world, reducing stress and fostering a calm, positive mind. The present moment is a powerful refuge. It is in this very moment that we find freedom from the weight of the past and the burden of the future. Mindfulness helps us realize this, offering us the tools to stay grounded in the now. When we are mindful, we become the masters of our own reality, no longer at the mercy of our wandering minds. Your mind is the master of your reality. Nurture it with mindfulness and let positivity bloom. This is not just a practice, but a way of life, a path to a more peaceful, more fulfilled existence. To bring mindfulness into your life, start with small daily practices. Incorporate mindfulness meditation into your routine, even if only for a few minutes each day. Focus on your breath, on the sensations in your body, and on the sounds around you. Practice being fully present in everyday tasks, whether you are eating, walking, or simply sitting in silence. By grounding yourself in the present, you can break free from the cycle of stress and cultivate a lasting sense of peace. Consider the story of John, a man whose life was once dominated by anxiety and stress. He spent his days worrying about the future, constantly replaying past mistakes in his mind. Then he discovered mindfulness. He began to practice daily meditation and mindfulness exercises, focusing on being present in each moment. Slowly, he noticed a shift within himself. His mind became quieter, his anxiety lessened, and he began to feel a deep sense of peace and contentment that he had never known before. John's life was transformed, not by changing his circumstances, but by changing his relationship with his mind. Through mindfulness, we find that we are no longer prisoners of our thoughts. We discover the freedom to choose our response to life, to cultivate a mind that is calm, clear, and positive. This is the secret Buddha shared, a secret that once mastered changes everything. By nurturing our minds with mindfulness, we create a reality filled with peace, joy, and endless possibilities. 6. Gratitude as a transformative force. We often find ourselves fixated on what's missing in our lives, constantly yearning for more. We dwell on our shortcomings, on what we have yet to achieve and what others have that we do not. In this endless cycle of comparison and desire, we overlook the abundance that surrounds us. We often overlook the abundance around us, fixating on what's missing. This focus on lack only breeds dissatisfaction and unhappiness, clouding our vision and keeping us from seeing the blessings right before our eyes. But there's a powerful antidote to this cycle, a transformative force that can shift our perspective and elevate our well-being: gratitude. Buddha taught, "Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little." Gratitude is more than just a fleeting feeling. It is a profound state of being that opens our hearts and minds to the richness of life. It is the simple act of acknowledging the good that's already present in our lives, however small it may seem. When we cultivate gratitude, we begin to shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. And this shift has the power to transform our entire experience of the world. The impact of gratitude on our mental health and happiness is profound. Studies have shown that those who regularly practice gratitude experience less stress, greater emotional resilience, and an overall higher sense of well-being. Gratitude acts as a powerful balm, soothing the mind and uplifting the spirit. It teaches us to see every challenge as a lesson, every setback as an opportunity, and every moment as a gift. In Buddhism, an attitude of gratitude is seen as essential for a peaceful mind, as it helps to cultivate a sense of contentment and acceptance. Gratitude is the magic potion for the heart, turning every moment into a gift. This is the secret to a life filled with joy and peace. By embracing gratitude, we transform our mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. We begin to see the beauty in the mundane, the extraordinary in the ordinary. Each day becomes a celebration of life, filled with countless moments to appreciate and cherish. To practice gratitude, start by keeping a daily gratitude journal. Each day, take a few moments to write down 3 things you are grateful for. They need not be grand or life-changing. Even the smallest joys, like a warm cup of tea, a kind word from a stranger, or the beauty of a sunset, can become sources of immense gratitude. Regularly express thanks to those around you. Let them know how much they mean to you and how their presence enriches your life. This practice not only strengthens your relationships, but also deepens your own sense of fulfillment. Consider the story of Maria, a woman who once felt lost and unhappy, constantly comparing herself to others and lamenting what she did not have. She decided to start a gratitude journal, committing to write down 3 things she was grateful for each day. At first it was difficult. Her mind was so accustomed to focusing on what was missing, but over time, something shifted. She began to notice the little things, the warmth of the sun on her face, the sound of birds in the morning, the kindness of a friend. Slowly, her outlook changed. She found herself smiling more, worrying less, and feeling a deep sense of peace and contentment she had never known before. Through the practice of gratitude, we learn to see life through a new lens. We awaken to the beauty that surrounds us, finding joy in the simplest of moments. This is the secret Buddha shared, a lesson that, once mastered, opens the door to a life of true happiness and fulfillment. Gratitude is not just a practice, it is a way of being that transforms everything. 7. Mindful appreciation of life's simple pleasures. In our relentless pursuit of grand achievements and lofty dreams, we often overlook the simple, beautiful moments that life offers us each day. We become so focused on what lies ahead that we forget to cherish the present. In chasing after big dreams, we often miss the small, beautiful moments of life. This constant striving for more can lead to a sense of emptiness, a feeling that something is always missing. Yet the truth is that profound joy can be found not in the big milestones, but in the small, quiet moments of everyday life. Buddha reminds us, enjoy simple things with total intensity. Just a cup of tea can be a deep meditation. These words invite us to embrace mindfulness in our daily lives, to savor the little pleasures that often go unnoticed. Whether it's the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of rain against the window, or the taste of a freshly brewed cup of tea, there is beauty and joy in these simple experiences. When we approach life with mindfulness, we deepen our experience of these moments, allowing them to fill us with peace and happiness. Mindfulness teaches us to slow down and truly be present. It enhances our appreciation of the everyday, turning mundane tasks into opportunities for joy and reflection. It's in these small moments that we discover the true essence of life, the moments that bring a smile to our lips and a sense of contentment to our hearts. In the present moment lies the key to finding joy in the simplest pleasures. This is the essence of a mindful life, a life that recognizes the magic in the ordinary, the extraordinary in the everyday. To cultivate this mindful appreciation, we must take time to fully enjoy small daily moments. Allow yourself to pause and breathe, to fully engage with what you are experiencing. Savor your meals, listen intently to a friend's laughter, feel the cool breeze on your skin. Reflect on these moments. Consider the story of David, a man who was constantly chasing after success and recognition. He was always on the move, always looking for the next big thing. One day, exhausted from the relentless pursuit, he decided to take a walk in a nearby park. As he strolled, he noticed the vibrant colors of the flowers, the soft rustling of the leaves, and the cheerful chirping of the birds. He paused, took a deep breath, and felt a wave of peace wash over him. That simple walk, that mindful appreciation of his surroundings, changed him. He realized that happiness wasn't something to be chased, it was something to be embraced in the here and now. Through the mindful appreciation of life's simple pleasures, we learn to find joy in the present moment. We discover that happiness isn't a distant destination, but a journey, experienced in each breath, each step, and each heartbeat. This is a lesson Buddha imparted, a secret that once understood changes how we perceive the world around us. By embracing the simplicity of the present, we find a path to a more grounded, peaceful, and fulfilled life. 8. Transforming obstacles into opportunities. Life is filled with challenges and obstacles, moments when it feels as though the world is against us and all paths are blocked. We've all been there, standing at the crossroads of despair, feeling overwhelmed by the weight of our problems. Obstacles often feel like the end of the road, but they're actually the beginning of a new journey. These moments can easily lead to frustration and a sense of hopelessness. However, there is a powerful truth that can transform our perspective. Obstacles are not the end, but rather the beginning of a new journey, an opportunity for profound growth and self-discovery. Buddha's words resonate deeply here. The obstacle is the path. This simple yet profound statement reveals a fundamental aspect of Buddhist philosophy. Challenges are not barriers but stepping stones. Every difficulty we encounter is an opportunity to learn, grow, and become stronger. Our pain and struggles are not meant to defeat us, they are meant to elevate us. When we shift our perspective, we see that the very things we perceive as hindrances are actually guiding us towards a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The way we perceive our challenges determines how we overcome them. With a mindful and positive mindset, we can turn every difficulty into a lesson, every setback into a setup for a comeback. Turn every obstacle into an opportunity for growth and watch your spirit soar. This shift in perspective empowers us to face adversity with courage and grace. Instead of being paralyzed by fear or anger, we learn to approach obstacles as opportunities to develop resilience, patience, and inner strength. To transform obstacles into opportunities, start by reframing your mindset. When you encounter a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me stronger? Use mindfulness to stay grounded during tough times. By staying present, you avoid getting lost in fear or frustration, allowing yourself to see the situation clearly and respond wisely. Practicing mindfulness during adversity helps maintain inner peace, making it easier to navigate through life's storms. Think about the story of Susan, who faced a sudden job loss that left her feeling devastated and lost. At first, the situation seemed like an insurmountable obstacle. But rather than succumb to despair, Susan decided to see this challenge as an opportunity for growth. She used this time to explore her true passions, developing new skills, and eventually starting her own business. What initially appeared as a tragic setback turned out to be the turning point for her personal and professional life. Susan discovered strength she didn't know she had, and a purpose that brought her fulfillment and joy. Every obstacle we face has the potential to become a transformative opportunity if we choose to see it that way. By embracing this mindset, we unlock a profound inner strength and resilience, allowing us to rise above life's challenges. This is a powerful lesson from Buddha's teachings, one that can transform how we experience our lives. When we turn our obstacles into opportunities, we do more than overcome adversity. We grow from it, we learn from it, and we become better because of it. This is how we master life's lessons and how we change, never to be the same again. 9. The power of breathing and pausing. In the relentless pace of our modern lives, we often find ourselves swept away by the current of demands, responsibilities, and unending tasks. We rush from one thing to the next, our minds racing, our bodies tense, and our spirits weary. In our fast-paced lives, we forget the power of a single breath to bring us back to calm. We forget that within us lies a simple yet profound tool that can bring us back to the center, to the present moment. It is the power of breathing, the act of pausing, the ability to reset. A single breath, when taken mindfully, has the potential to calm the chaos and restore our inner peace. Buddha teaches us, inhale the future, exhale the past. These words remind us of the significance of each breath, of the power it holds to ground us in the here and now. Through mindful breathing, we find a way to reconnect with our true selves, away from the noise and stress that cloud our minds. The breath becomes an anchor, a means to return to a state of calm and clarity. It is through this simple act of inhaling and exhaling that we can release the burdens of yesterday and embrace the possibilities of tomorrow. The calming effect of mindful breathing on the nervous system is profound. It allows us to slow down, to calm our racing hearts and quiet our anxious minds. It helps reset our nervous system, bringing us back to a state of balance. Now, pause, breathe, and reset. Find calmness in the rhythm of your breath. These moments of pause are not just breaks from the rush. They are opportunities to reset our minds and bodies, to find peace amid the storm. Incorporating mindful breathing into our daily routines can transform our lives. Start with simple breathing exercises. Inhale deeply, hold, and exhale slowly. Face your fears with courage, for it is in the discomfort that true strength is found. It is in these moments of uncertainty, when the ground beneath us seems to tremble, that we find the strength to stand tall, the resilience to keep moving forward. To overcome fear, we must first identify it. Acknowledge the fears that hold you back and take small steps toward confronting them. Begin with the little things, the small discomforts, the daily anxieties, and face them with a brave heart. Use mindfulness to stay present and grounded in the face of fear. Breathe deeply, feel the fear, and then let it pass like a cloud in the sky. Each time you face your fear, you weaken its hold on you, reclaiming a bit more of your power and peace. Imagine a man who spent years in the shadow of his own fear, afraid to speak his truth, afraid to pursue his dreams. One day he decided to face the fear that had bound him for so long. He began by speaking up in small groups, sharing his thoughts. Little by little his voice grew stronger. He took steps toward his dreams, despite the tremors in his hands and the tightness in his chest. With each step, he felt the chains of fear begin to loosen. He found a peace he never knew existed, a purpose he had long forgotten, all because he chose to face his fears with courage. This is the journey we must all take, the journey through our fears, the journey to our true selves. Fear will always be a part of life, but it does not have to define us. Courage is our birthright, our path to liberation. 13. The internal state of happiness. We chase after success, wealth, and status, believing that each milestone will bring us the happiness we seek. We fill our lives with achievements, possessions, and accolades, yet when we reach those heights, we find that true happiness still eludes us. It is like a mirage on the horizon, always just out of reach. We live in a world that teaches us to look outward for our joy, to measure our worth by what we have and what we do. But the real secret lies within. Happiness does not depend on what you have or who you are. It solely relies on what you think, said the Buddha. It is a state of mind, a condition of the heart that no external force can truly provide. The mind is the birthplace of all our emotions, our joys, and our sorrows. It is our perception that defines our reality, our thoughts that shape our experiences. If we believe that happiness is something to be acquired, we will always be searching, always reaching for something just beyond our grasp. But when we understand that true happiness comes from within, we begin to see that it is not about what we possess or achieve, but about how we choose to see the world. A positive mindset rooted in mindfulness and awareness is the key to lasting happiness. It is the understanding that peace is not found in the fleeting, but in the constant within ourselves. Buddhism teaches that happiness is an internal state, cultivated through mindful, intentional living and deep inner peace. When we stop seeking happiness outside ourselves, we begin to nurture the peace within. We find contentment not in things, but in being, not in having, but in simply existing with purpose and clarity. True happiness is not found in the world around you, but in the world within you. It is a realization that shifts the very ground we stand on, that opens the door to a more profound fulfillment than any external achievement could ever provide. To cultivate this internal state, focus on your mindset. Practice mindfulness. Allow yourself to be present in each moment without judgment or expectation. Reflect on what brings you true joy and fulfillment, not what society tells you should make you happy, but what genuinely resonates with your soul. Find peace in the simple moments, the quiet spaces between breaths. This practice is not just about thinking positively, it is about living intentionally, understanding that every thought is a choice, every emotion a path. Consider the story of a man who had it all: wealth, status, success. Yet despite everything, he felt an emptiness that no amount of money could fill. In his search for happiness, he turned inward. He began to meditate, to practice mindfulness, to connect with his true self. Slowly, he let go of the need for external validation. He found joy in the simple act of being alive, in the beauty of nature, in the love he felt for those around him. His happiness no longer depended on what he owned or what he achieved, but on the peace he found within himself. He discovered that the greatest treasure had been within him all along. This is the path to true contentment, the secret that so many overlook. Happiness is not a destination, but a way of being. It is a choice, a practice, an internal state that once mastered changes everything. 14. Self-compassion as the foundation for resilience. We are often our own harshest critics, tearing ourselves down with harsh words and impossible standards. In the face of life's inevitable setbacks, this inner voice makes it even harder to stand back up, to move forward, and to heal. We judge ourselves more harshly than we ever would judge others, forgetting that kindness begins with the self. And yet, it is this very compassion towards ourselves that builds the foundation for resilience. As the Buddha said, "You yourself must strive. The Buddhas only point the way." The journey to strength and peace begins within. By treating ourselves with the same love and understanding we offer to those we care about, we cultivate self-compassion, the source of mental strength. It is what allows us to see ourselves not as failures when we stumble, but as learners on the path, growing and evolving with every experience. When we are kind to ourselves, we create a safe space within our minds to acknowledge mistakes, to learn from them, and to move forward without being weighed down by shame or regret. Self-compassion does not mean avoiding responsibility. It means facing it with a gentle heart, knowing that every setback is an opportunity for growth. When we give ourselves permission to be human, we find the strength to rise again and again. Buddhism teaches that self-compassion is not a luxury, it is a necessity for developing true inner strength and resilience. It is the understanding that we are all imperfect, that suffering is a part of life, and that kindness is the balm that soothes the soul. Treat yourself with kindness, and you'll find the strength to overcome anything. When we practice self-compassion, we become less afraid of failure, less burdened by the weight of our own expectations. We learn to be gentle with our hearts, to see our challenges not as walls, but as steps on the path to enlightenment. To build this foundation of resilience, start with self-forgiveness. Release the harsh judgments you hold against yourself and replace them with words of kindness. Speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend who is struggling, with understanding, with encouragement, and with love. Reflect on your strengths, on the times you faced difficulties and emerged strong. Remember that every scar tells a story of survival, every challenge a lesson in courage. Think of the story of a woman who, after losing everything she had worked for, felt crushed under the weight of her own self-blame. She believed she was not enough, that her mistakes defined her. But one day she decided to change her story. She began practicing self-compassion, speaking to herself with gentleness, and forgiving herself for her perceived failures. With time, she found the strength to start anew, to build a life she loved, not in spite of her past, but because of the lessons it taught her. Her resilience grew not from self-criticism, but from self-compassion. This is the power of treating ourselves with kindness. It transforms pain into strength, wounds into wisdom, setbacks into stepping stones. When we embrace ourselves with compassion, we become unbreakable. We realize that no challenge is too great, no failure too final, because we hold within us the boundless capacity to heal, to grow, and to begin again. True peace and fulfillment aren't far-off dreams, but real possibilities within each of us. The path to this inner peace comes from learning timeless lessons. They show us how to be kind to ourselves, accept change, find happiness in simple things, and view challenges as chances to grow. These lessons remind us that peace isn't something to be found outside, but a garden to be nurtured within ourselves. As we follow this path, we learn to stay calm during life's storms and, over time, become the calm itself. Start today. Embrace these teachings, apply them in your everyday life, and watch the transformation unfold, a life filled with peace, joy, and deep fulfillment. Remember, each small step toward mindfulness, gratitude, and courage is a step toward a better self and a brighter world. If this journey speaks to you, like and share this video for more inspiring Buddhist wisdom. Let's walk this path together, growing stronger and more serene with every step. Let each breath be a moment of renewal, a chance to let go of tension and embrace tranquility. Take mindful pauses throughout the day, allowing yourself a few moments to just breathe and be. These practices may seem small, but they hold immense power. They are the keys to managing stress and maintaining daily peace in a world that constantly pulls us in every direction. Consider the story of John, a corporate executive overwhelmed by the pressures of his job. The stress was taking a toll on his health, and he was on the brink of burnout. A friend introduced him to the practice of mindful breathing. At first it seemed too simple, too easy to make a difference. But as John began to integrate these pauses into his day, he noticed a shift. The anxiety began to fade, replaced by a sense of calm and clarity he hadn't felt in years. He found that by simply taking a few mindful breaths, he could reset his mind and approach his challenges with a renewed perspective. This small change became a powerful tool in managing his stress and maintaining his well-being. The power of breathing and pausing is not just a concept, it's a practice that can transform our lives. In each breath, we find a moment of peace, a chance to reset, and an opportunity to reconnect with our true selves. This is the secret that Buddha shared with us, a lesson that, once mastered, can change us forever. When we learn to pause, to breathe, and to find calmness in the rhythm of our breath, we discover a path to inner peace that is always available, no matter what life throws our way. 10. Gratitude in challenging times. In the midst of life's most profound darkness, it can be hard to see the light, to feel the warmth of hope. Yet, in these moments of despair, there is a quiet power that can shift our entire experience. Gratitude. When the world seems against us, when we feel broken and defeated, gratitude becomes the beacon that guides us through. It is not naive optimism or a forced smile. It is a deep, conscious choice to find light, even in the darkest of places. As Buddha once said, when you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. It is in this realization that we find the strength to keep moving forward. In adversity, we often find ourselves focusing on what is long lost, what is broken, and what is missing. Yet Buddhism teaches us to look beyond these shadows and find the silver linings that shine through. To be grateful is to be resilient, to stand firm like a mountain amid the storm, unshaken and unyielding. Gratitude shifts our focus from the wounds and scars to the lessons they bring, from what has been taken to what still remains. In this shift, we find an inner peace that transcends the pain, a clarity that guides us through the chaos. For even in darkness, there is always a glimmer of gratitude that lights the way. Gratitude is not about ignoring suffering or pretending that pain does not exist. Instead, it is a practice of recognizing the small blessings that persist even in the hardest times. It is about seeing the strength that arises from struggle, the compassion that blooms from hardship, and the wisdom that grows from every challenge faced. Buddhism teaches us that gratitude, especially in difficult times, is a powerful force for maintaining peace. It is the anchor that holds us steady when the waves of life grow fierce. To be grateful is to acknowledge that even the hardest paths can lead to the most beautiful destinations. Reflecting on the lessons learned during hard times and the small blessings that still grace our lives can transform our perspective. Keeping a gratitude journal focused on resilience can help us see that even in moments of pain, there is always something to be grateful for. A friend's comforting words, the strength found in surviving another day, the small acts of kindness that touch our hearts. These are the things that can sustain us when all else seems lost. Gratitude is key to maintaining hope, to finding peace amidst the chaos of life's challenges. Consider the story of a woman who lost everything she held dear in a tragic accident. Her home, her family, and her very sense of self seemed shattered beyond repair. Yet amid this grief, she chose to focus on what remained: the love she had known, the memories she had created, and the strength she found in each breath she took. Slowly, she began to see the small miracles around her, the kindness of strangers, the beauty of a sunrise, the resilience in her own heart. Through gratitude, she found not only the strength to survive, but also the courage to live again, fully and deeply. In this choice, in this practice, we discover the true secret. Gratitude does not change the circumstances, but it changes us. It opens our hearts to see beauty where we once saw only pain, to find peace where we once felt only turmoil. 11. Balance between action and rest. We are not machines, yet we often push ourselves to the brink, moving from task to task, driven by the endless demands of our lives. We hustle, we strive, we endure, and in the process we neglect the rest that our bodies and minds desperately need. We forget that we are human beings, not just human doings. In the pursuit of our goals, we push beyond our limits, often unaware that without balance, we risk losing ourselves. As the Buddha wisely taught, to keep the body in good health is a duty. Otherwise, we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear. This is the essence of true well-being, a balance between action and rest. Rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the quiet space where healing begins, where the mind finds clarity and the body regains its strength. Just as action drives us forward, rest replenishes our energy and restores our spirit. It's in these moments of stillness that we find the strength to continue, the wisdom to reflect, and the peace that allows us to thrive. Proper rest is not an indulgence, but a critical element of a balanced life. It enhances productivity, sharpens focus, and nurtures inner peace. It is the breath we take before we plunge back into the depths of our daily challenges. Buddhism teaches us to find balance in all things, to walk the middle path where neither excess nor deficiency exists. This balance is vital in all aspects of life, including the delicate dance between action and rest. To neglect rest is to invite burnout, to strain our body and mind until they are frayed and weakened. Yet when we balance our efforts with moments of stillness, we discover a deeper harmony within ourselves. Balance action with rest. Both are essential to a healthy, harmonious life. It is not just about slowing down, but about finding the rhythm that allows us to live with intention and awareness. To practice this balance, start by ensuring a regular sleep schedule. Let your body and mind find consistency in rest, so they may serve you well in times of need. Carve out moments of silence throughout your day, times where you do nothing but breathe, reflect, and simply be. Balance your work with activities that relax and rejuvenate you, be it a walk in nature, a moment of meditation, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts. This practice is crucial for avoiding burnout and for sustaining the energy needed for long-term peace. Consider the story of a man who, after years of relentless work, found himself on the edge of collapse. His health deteriorated, his mind was fogged, and his spirit was drained. It was only when he embraced the balance of action and rest that he began to heal. He learned to honor his body's needs, to listen to the quiet whispers of his soul. In rest, he found clarity. In stillness, he found strength. He did not abandon his goals, but pursued them with renewed vigor, grounded in the understanding that both action and rest are sacred. This balance, this harmony, is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. It is the wisdom that knows we cannot pour from an empty cup, that understands the power of stillness amid the chaos, that sees rest not as an end, but as a vital part of the journey. 12. Overcoming fear with courage. Fear is the mind's greatest prison, a dark force that binds us, holds us back, and keeps us from the life we are meant to live. It whispers doubts, weaves stories of what might go wrong, and creates shadows that seem impossible to overcome. But courage is the key that sets us free. It is the force that propels us forward, that breaks through the chains of hesitation and allows us to see what lies beyond the walls of our own fear. As the Buddha said, "The whole secret of existence is to have no fear." To truly live, to truly grow, we must confront fear with the strength of a warrior and the heart of a sage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. It is the first step into the unknown, the leap into uncertainty with faith in ourselves. In every moment of courage, there is personal transformation, a shedding of the old skin, a breaking away of the past that holds us back. When we face our fears, we discover parts of ourselves we never knew existed, strengths we never imagined, and a peace that comes from knowing we are stronger than we ever believed. Overcoming fear is not just an act of bravery. It is a path to deeper self-understanding, a journey into the depths of our own spirit. Buddhism teaches us that fear is an illusion, a creation of the mind that can be overcome through mindfulness and courage. Fear distorts reality, making obstacles seem insurmountable and challenges appear as threats. But when we face fear with a calm and focused mind, we begin to see it for what it truly is, an opportunity for growth, a doorway to a greater understanding of ourselves and the world around us.